Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Hi, friends. Hi, friends times 10 friends. So, as you all know, I'm back home. Today is Friday. And I must say, God is good, right? I have to say, God is good. It's a must. I must say, God is good. And He's not just good, He's good all the time. I know from experience that God is, in fact, good. I used to have some prayer sessions where I would pray for you, you would pray for me, we would pray for each other. And I've always made mention that don't wait till when something happens for you to pray and say, God, please help me. I considered my prayers and my thoughts of prayers a basket of prayers because you have to pray in advance. You don't pray just because when something happens or when you need help or when you need guidance or when you're in trouble. You have to pray in advance. It's like a collection of prayers you put in a basket. So when you need it at the right time, it's already there. God said He goes to prepare a place for us. He goes ahead to prepare a place for us. So when He gets there, you have to pray. You have to thank Him for being there, for doing whatever He's doing for you. So He goes ahead to prepare a place. Because if when something happens, that's when you pray. It might take longer for the prayer to be answered. It might take longer for Him to hear you because He's probably helping somebody else who probably needs more help than you at the moment. But when you pray ahead and you present your prayer ahead to God, your prayers are answered faster, quicker, right? So I'm making this video for many reasons. First of all, today is April 4th, even though it's a different year. But today, April 4th, 5 years ago, I was reflecting on that. April 4th, 5 years ago, 2020, is when I got COVID. And I survived that. Thanks be to God I did. Even though I did not know what was going on from day 1 to day 2 or 5 or 10. Right? So today is April 4th, 2025, 5 years later. And this happened to me a couple of years ago. I could have been still in the hospital. My stroke could have affected more than my bent up hand right now. Right? But I've heard that when a stroke affects the body, it's better for it to affect the right than the left. Look it up. If you ever get in a stroke, God forbid you won't. It will not happen to you. But if it does, I've heard not just from co-workers talking about strokes and stuff, not against, but talking about it. And if you get a stroke on your right side, chances are it's probably minimal to the left side, right? That's why when they were doing I had a lot of tests done. When they were doing my heart test, they focus more on the left side, right? So I'm saying this to you. Be not afraid. In everything, take courage. And before you even take courage, give thanks. Because whatever you're going through could be worse. Like my mom always says, whatever you're going through in life, it could be worse. Right? So 2 mornings ago, my boss asked me, the night before he asked me if I can come into work at 6 o'clock in the morning because someone called out. I said, sure, fine. I'm going to be there from 2 o'clock anyway, so I might as well. So I went to work the night before. When he called me, I was at work. Ended work at 11. Came home. And then my alarm went off to get ready. I'm going to get ready to go to work. But I know before I leave the house, I have to make mommy's coffee. She loves her coffee first thing in the morning. Sometimes 3, 4, 5 o'clock, she wants her coffee. So I said, okay, I'm going to give myself enough time to get up, go make her coffee, and get ready for work. So when I got up, it was about 5:30. I am trying to get up, get out of bed, and my hand, you can bend it now, my hand was like this. This, I can't stay like how it was, but my hand was like this, right? You know when you sleep on any part of your body, you get cramp, or you feel like, kind of twinkly in your hand, you have to shake it off. So I got up and my hand is closed with no pain, no feeling. So I said, wait a minute, am I dreaming? So I look at my hand. I didn't tell my husband anything because he woke me up. He said, aren't you going to work? I said, yes, I am, but I'm trying to figure out what was going on with my body without saying anything to him yet. And I sat up in bed and I tried to hold a water bottle. Right? I always have water by my bedside. So I'm going to try and hold it, right? It's better today, guys, much better today. I held a bottle of water and it just plopped from my hand. It just plopped. So I said, okay, there's something going on here that looks like a stroke. I moved my other parts of my body and said, okay, it's just my hand. So I got up from bed. I put on my robe. I went downstairs. I didn't say anything to him yet. I went downstairs to make mommy's coffee. I couldn't even tie my robe. Couldn't tie my robe at all. I said, Mommy, good morning. She said, you're going to make my coffee? I said, yes, Mommy. So my husband followed me soon after in the kitchen. And I asked him for help because I couldn't pour the coffee. I could pour the water, but I couldn't scoop the coffee to put in the coffee maker. I gave her coffee and I bent to her. I didn't tell my husband yet. I said, Mommy, I have to go to the emergency room because it looks like I had a minor stroke. She says, true? Just like that, Mommy is so calm. I said, yes, Mommy. Went upstairs. I know I'm going to go to the emergency room. I said, honey, we got to go. He said, where the emergency? I said, yes, we got to go and we got to go now. So we got ready, leaving the house. I, in my stubborn head, still going to drive the car. He says, no, you can't drive. So he drove me to the emergency room. We got there. As soon as I told them what was going on, they didn't even do triage for me, anything. You know, when you go in, they take your blood pressure and stuff. You have to go back and wait. Nope. Inside you go in, my dear. Went inside. Nurse, doctor, nurse. All the while, my hand, it's like this. So when they did x-ray, blood tests, EKG, ultrasound, everything, right? I said to one of the doctors, I said, you know what? Sometimes I self-diagnose myself, and I started laughing. I said, I think I had a minor stroke. Anyway, no response. I know what I was talking about. So anyway, have you ever gone to the emergency room, and if it's not an emergency, you wait in the emergency room for like how many hours before you either get admitted or you get sent home? Mine was about 2 hours after all their tests. We got a room for you upstairs. I said, I asked, because I said, am I going to be admitted? Because I know I wasn't going home. I said to my husband, I'm not going home. Because he thought, because all the other tests came back okay, that whatever it is will go away and I was going to go home. I said, honey, I know you have to go to work. You stayed a while. And I said, you can go. because they're going to admit me. Sure enough, they admitted me. He left the house, he left the hospital, and he went to work. So went upstairs, uh, came to get me. We found a room for you, went upstairs. As soon as I got upstairs, all the doctors and nurses came in, getting report as to what happened and stuff. I'm showing them my hand. My hand is still shut tight. No pain. So they said, okay, we're going to do another EKG, right? But EKG, guys, I forgot to tell these people that I'm allergic to the strips that they put on to do the EKG. All my stomach is red, my chest red, the wrong patch red. I'm allergic to that. I found this out last year, 2 years ago, when I went to have my what test was I doing? I don't remember. My colonoscopy. So I'm allergic to that. But I forgot to tell them. Anyway, that's minor worry compared to what could have happened. Then they did the MRI. So after the EKG again, they did the MRI. Now, so we got a joke. I got a joke to give, right? Take me to the MRI. You know, they wheel you into this spaceship. I call it a spaceship. But it's like an incubated where they drive you in. First day we're going to put on the headset and stuff. Nice picture, screensaver kind of thing. What? And they play music for you. The music that came on said, believe it or not, how does it go? This is the day you're gonna die. Something like that. I don't know if it's Elton John's song. Something like that, right? You know when Nigerians say, God forbid. I said, not today, not me. So I started laughing. I said, God, that's a funny joke. This is not the day I'm going to die. So they give you, it's a sequence of thumping and detecting. That's what an MRI does. So I said, I'm going to report to somebody. They should never ever have that song on their playlist. So they wheel me out to follow with the second part of the procedure. As soon as I came out, she goes, how was it? I said, let me tell you something. And we're joking. I said, change that song, please. She said, which song? The song that says, this is the day I'm going to die. She says, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I said, yeah, take it off from your playlist. She said, what would you like to hear? I said, reggae, anything reggae. So, sure enough, I was surprised. She had reggae. A song by Bob Marley, Live and Let Live. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that. And then the second song was Red, Red Wine. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Wheel me back in with reggae playing. And I'm like, okay, I can handle that. Anyway, that was the part of my story with the joke, but I couldn't believe it. Anyway, brought me back to my room, and the results came back, and the doctor came up and he said, yep, you had a stroke. I said, yep. And I told her, I said, I knew, because in our nursing education, we are taught a lot of things. I know how to deal with dementia patients, and I know how to deal with what to look for, the signs of stroke. A stroke could imitate a heart attack, and vice versa. A heart attack could mimic a stroke. But some people think it's only on the left side. No. Get that out of your head. A stroke and a heart attack could not only be on your left side. There are many other parts of your body that could tell you you're either going to have a heart attack or a stroke. But the way it happened, I knew it was going to be a stroke. Now remember what I said, right? Stroke is fast. F for face. If you feel any tingling stuff in your face, followed by A, your arms. If your arms get numb, right? Again, not just the left, but the right. R is FAS. Sorry, I'm talking about smoke now. So F, face, A, arms, S, speech. If you cannot talk, your speech is slurred, or your mouth go like this, kind of, like I can do it, but, turn. And T, time, meaning the fastest you get to an emergency room, the better for you. So fast, my friends, remember that. FAST. Face, arms, speech, and time. Remember that. I'm telling you guys, please remember that. If not for yourself, for somebody else around you. So anyway, I stayed there, and surprisingly, because they took me on a walk, they said, let's go for a walk. I said, sure. I want to show off now. I can walk. They had me climb upstairs, climb downstairs, and then somebody walked behind me. She said, I'm going to nudge you to see, because they want to see my balance, if I'm swaying or if I... So she's walking behind me. That's the physical therapist. She's walking behind me, and she pushes me. I wasn't expecting it, but luckily I was able to hold my balance. She did it 2 more times, and I was able to do the same. I did not know when she was going to do it, but I was able to pass that part of the test. Then they brought me to the nurse's station, the nurse's kitchen, where they asked me to pull out a drawer to see how I can pull a drawer. And they noticed the, not deformity, but the way my hand was. To pull the drawer, I had difficulty. And they asked me to open the drawer again and pick out a fork, like I'm going to eat. So I couldn't do it. It just fell. It just fell right through. And they could tell again, they could tell that there was something wrong with my hands and what they need to do to assist me. So we walked back to my room, and then the doctor who did the MRI came in to talk to me, and she says, okay, this is what's going on. Yes, you did in fact have a stroke. You're going to do physical therapy. They gave me a ball for me to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, right? Squeeze and squeeze. It looks simple, but it really helps. And then they gave me some new meds. So I have to go get fitted for heart monitor next week, and I have to use that wear it for about 3 weeks. And then I have to take baby aspirin. I have to take a blood thinner, and then the blood thinner is only for about 20 days as well. And then with my other medications, thankfully I'm not on any major medications, thank God, knock on wood. My vitamin D3, my magnesium, my atorvastatin, which is for my cholesterol, and my Trulicity for my diabetes, which is an injection that I take once a week. So I am not a person to hide sickness. You know why? Because what I'm going through could help someone else. Okay? Many people are afraid to say, oh, I have this or I have that. Or they're afraid to tell people. I don't know why. I don't know what the logic behind that is. Some people, for privacy, okay. But for privacy, when you get sick, I remember there was a friend who got sick, and I was shocked, very shocked, because the person more or less kept it from a lot of people, only close associates. And then that person is no longer here. But I felt funny. I felt bad, funny kind of way. I mean, what are you going to do? There are lots of people I could have helped in some way, either visited, help with laundry, help with cleaning, give a drive. I got some phone calls from people not too long ago, today. If you need a ride somewhere, call me. You know what I mean? If you need to go anywhere, call me. If you need anything, call me. Sure, if I need that help, I'm definitely going to call. But people are afraid to tell people when they're sick. For me, I am not, because like I said, what I'm going through can help someone. Some people probably did not know what fast means. You know the acronym for fast. I'm going to repeat it. F for face, A for your arms, S for your speech, and T for time. And it sounds simple. T for time sounds simple. But again, the fastest you get to an emergency room can save you, can save your life, cannot make things worse. And that's what I did. I used fast to get my butt to the emergency room. Okay? So I'm home after 2 days, right? So things are hard for me still, for me to hold things, to to open things, and I'm not calling anybody for help. Not my husband, not my daughter, anyone. If I cannot do something like today, I ask my husband to help me open a bottle of water because it was very hard. But like, let's say my facial cream, I can use my hand to open it like this, the palm of my hand. But when it comes to cream my face with it, see my finger? I have to stretch my finger as up high as I can. It comes back down because I want to cream my face. Take some cream, and I'm going to do like somebody who cannot do anything, like this. See? I have to take my finger, and I'm not going to cheat. You know what I mean? Doesn't make sense to cheat. So I'm trying to cream my face. Right? There might be some specks here. But that's my struggle, and that's okay. So I can cream my face properly, and I'm not going to cheat because one day I'll be able to do it completely. And this is the other thing about sickness. If you're sick, you can take medication, right? If you're sick, you can pray. You can say your prayers to God to help you get better. But you can also help yourself. And apart from helping yourself, you have to have a most positive mind. I've also said that when you're sick, thinking about the sickness will make you feel more sick. But when you're sick and you tell yourself, no matter what, God is good. He's going to help you. With a positive mind, my friends, with a most positive mind, I cannot say it enough. Accept it. Say, God, thank you for what this is. It could be worse. Help me get through this. And just take a deep breath and go on. Because if you wallow in self-pity and say, God, why did this have to happen to me? Well, I don't know. Do you want it worse? It could be worse, right? So even though I cannot cream my face, even though my hand is like this, even though I have to a lot of times take my hand and stretch it out, right? And do your exercises. For me, that's what it is right now. I could not be here at home sitting right now. I could still be in a hospital, but coulda, shoulda, woulda, it's not going to save me. What's going to save me is first, I'm not even going to say my education. First, Jesus Christ, then the doctors, and then your mind, your positive mind. My friends, do not put yourself in so much self-pity. If anything happens to you, not just sickness, if anything happened to you, do not put yourself in any type of self-pity. You will feel crushed. You will feel worse. You will feel like tomorrow is not going to come. Right? I'm sitting here. For me, 2 days ago, tomorrow, I did not know. But I thought so positive. I had such a positive mind that I knew I was going to get home. I said, okay, maybe by Friday I'll go home. Maybe by Saturday I'll go home. I brought my iPad with me, and my daughter Nadia brought my iPad with my headphones, listened to some beautiful music, right? I fell asleep with my headphones on because the lady next to me was snoring really bad. I said, thank God I have my headphones on. I listened to some nice waterfall music. I fell asleep. I got up. Doctors came. Again, more blood. I'm like, you guys are taking all my blood. I'm going to be left with nothing. They were laughing. But thankfully, I have that mindset that I'm not going to wallow in sickness, because with sickness come more sickness and more sickness and more sickness, right? So my hand is still cup up, right? I'm doing my exercises. I'm doing my stretching. And I have to be careful because I'm busy with my hand trying to do everything. This morning I made mommy's coffee. I made her breakfast. I gave her bath, help her change her clothes. And she says, you think you can do that? I said, yes, mommy, we're going to do this. You and I are going to do this together. And she goes, oh my God, God bless you. I said, that's all I need. But, so I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you for all your prayers, your phone calls, all the emails I've read. I just did not respond individually to everyone, but I've read every single one of them. Thank you for your prayers, your love, your thoughts, your everything, your concern for me. Apart from love, your concern, because if you were not concerned about me, you would not have reached out to me. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love every one of you, and with God's grace and guidance, and with the support of my family and friends, I, Anna Onyekoro, me, Annie Joseph, will get through this. I'm going to do this, do my stretching. I can't drive yet. My husband I joked with him today because I went to get my nails done. I said, but you're not my chauffeur. He said, that's okay. So I just want to thank everyone. You have to have that support. Whenever you're going through anything, you have to have that support. Don't be afraid to tell people of your sickness. And then one more thing, I remember when my husband got sick, I went to work and they knew he knew he was sick because of the way that I left work and stuff like that. And from me speaking about it, one of the nurses said to me, her husband is much younger than my husband. She says, Anna, but my husband just went through this. She says, remember when I was out for a while? I said, yeah. She said, well, my husband had the same procedure as your husband. And we started comparing notes. See what I mean by sharing? If you don't share what you're going through, what are you going to lose? What are you going to lose? If you tell somebody you're sick and they feel it joy to tell somebody else, but not in a good way out of concern, so be it. That's their issue, not yours. If you tell somebody you're sick and they go back as if it's a good thing. Oh, you didn't hear her? Oh, she's sick, right? Oh, she died. You know what people, right? You know what I'm talking about? But if you go to someone and you explain, this is what I'm going through. And somebody might say, well, I know this person who went through the same thing. And this is what they did. Right? And say, oh, maybe I will try that too. Remember when COVID was going around and everybody was comparing what tea to drink and stuff like that? That's what I'm talking about. So Thank you for your love and concern. And I don't know when I'm going back to work yet. Like I said, I have to have my physical therapy, occupational therapy. I have to have my heart monitor put in. It's not anything surgery. It's just like a patch. They monitor you. And it goes to the doctor's office. And then take my medications. I can't, you know what, two things is what I can't write. If I show you guys my signature, a kindergartner right now is writing better than me. Okay? But that takes time. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to practice, practice, practice. My next thing is my gardening. If I have to lift up a pot with my wrist and do my gardening, that's what I'm going to do. And then what? Playing the piano. I tried today. Nope, nobody wants to hear me playing the piano right now. It's like I'll be learning all over again. But it is what it is. That's the best way that I can put it. It is what it is for the moment. So without further rambling, long speech, I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a little update. My hand is still not mine quite yet, because on the first day, I could not do this. See? Now I can do this. My fingers are crossed right now. The only finger that's helping me is my thumb. It wasn't that strong before, but now I can take my thumb and hold up something. I can't type, so sometimes I'm using my left hand. You should see the stuff my left hand is trying to type, the words. Because it's like, what are you trying to say? That's not what I'm trying to say. I have to go back and fix it. So my thumb is helping me type, but I have to hold my phone like this and stretch my thumb to get to the letter that I'm trying to get to, so the phone wouldn't fall off my hand. So that's what I have to do. So that's how I'm able to type. Anyway, my friends, thank you for listening to me, and be well. Wish each other well, and stay healthy. Whatever you have to do to keep yourself healthy, because you know what? Sickness comes like that. You know, I'm not 100% healthy, but I'm aging. I'm not saying I'm getting older, I'm aging. So I have some aches and pains. Even my doctor even told me now I have. What did she say? I can't pronounce it. But what it boils down to is arthritis in my spine. I said, okay, I'm going to fix that. Stretching, drinking lots of turmeric, but not lots anymore, because I read that turmeric and blood pressure is, so now that I'm also on blood thinner, I have to be very, very careful. But I'm taking precautions as to exactly what I need to do. And I'm not going to be a hero or a shero and take things in my hands and go crazy about things. So anyway, that's where it is. My hand and I, we are like this. Sometimes we are like up, 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 this. I don't want to take, sometimes I take my hand and I go like this. Stay. Anyway, I'm laughing at myself, and that's what you need to do. Laugh at yourself when these kinds of things happen. All right? God is still dope, my friends. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Good night and goodbye.